You ever wish you could like be in the room with the big corporate gun companies as they're making the decisions that they make? So Tom.
Yo, what's up, Bob?
I've got an idea and I think you're gonna love it. First, we're gonna make an acceptable full-size gun that's okay just about everywhere and sometimes runs into some issues. Then we're gonna surprise everybody by taking that general thing and make a subcompact thing with it, but it's going to be like a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But most of the other things are going to be pretty good. It's going to, all of the stuff that the other one did okay, it's going to do better, but we're still going to have a couple issues here and there. Then we're going to surprise everybody else and come out with a micro 9 that competes with guns that cost like twice as much as it, and it actually does really good in that competition with things like capacity, size, trigger pull, recoil. And we're going to price it like sub $400. At least, I think that's how it went. Let's get to work. Work here. Welcome back to Work the Trigger. Today we're going to be taking the first look at the new hotness from Taurus, the GX4. The GX4 is a subcompact gun meant to battle with the likes of the Sig P365 and the Springfield Hellcat. However, coming in at around $400, this little guy is going to be ringing in at a drastic amount under the competition. So let's talk a little bit about this, about what you get, and about the pros and cons of this little gun. First up, my particular model came with two 11-round magazines. That is compared to two 10-round magazines that came with my 365, and an 11 and a 13-round magazine that came with my Hellcat. In the box you get also all of the other crud, but unlike the other two, this one actually comes with a removable backstrap and a backstrap that you can put on here to change the size of the grip. That is something that neither Springfield nor Sig have worked into their models yet. The gun itself sits right between the Sig 365 and the Hellcat in size. The Hellcat being a little bit larger and the 365 being a little bit smaller. And that is for pretty much all dimensions: height, length, and width. Now, when you're talking about concealment, the two major things that you're concerned about is width and height. The height of these all is relatively the same, as is the width. But the crazy thing is with these micro compact 9s, that width. Both the 365 and the GX4 are under 1 inch, with the 365 being 0.9 and the GX4 being 0.95. The Hellcat rings in at the high end at just over 1 inch at about 1.06 inches, and that's just the fat part of the frame, but that is the widest part and you do have to conceal it, so it does count. Working from the top down on the GX4 here, we do have a set of Glock sights on the top. They are better than Glock sights actually because the backs don't suck. They are unfortunately plastic, but the back is a blacked out. The front is just a single white dot, and on my particular model, the white isn't 100% filled in, so it gives this kind of weird shadowy look. Doesn't bother me too much. I don't generally use the dots, but that is a thing on these. They're not that greatly made. The slide has really nice serrations on it, both front and rear, giving you the ability to rack the slide in pretty much any orientation you would like. The coating on the slide, I haven't put it through any testing yet, but it feels like quality coating. Sometimes you can tell the coating just by kind of the feel on it. Ruger, for instance, their slide coatings aren't the best, and you can tell when you're just touching those. This actually feels like a decent quality coating. The barrel on here is actually really interestingly contoured. It has cutouts in it that give it a little bit of style versus pretty much any other competition, especially in its price range and in its size bracket. The frame on the GX4 feels a little bit cheaper than the 365 or the Hellcat. Just the feel of the polymer, the texturing of the polymer, and the spaces where you're not looking for grip are just a little bit rougher, and that makes it feel a little bit on the cheaper end, but it doesn't feel cheap like I've said with like the Canik. The feel of the Canik's polymer is almost too smooth, similar to like some older, cheaper polymer guns. This doesn't have that, but you can feel a little bit of that quality in that polymer. It has front stippling up here where your thumbs would go in a two-handed grip, giving you a nice little pad to be able to press down on if that's what your grip style is. The slide release is close to the back and easy to get to, which is extremely nice for my medium-sized hands. This gun does fit my hands relatively well. All three of these guns fit my hands pretty well. This one does give me practically a full firing grip. My pinky's hanging off about halfway. If you've got big hands, your pinky is going to fall all the way off this gun, unfortunately. It's almost an identical grip length to a 365, a little bit shorter than the Hellcat, so the Hellcat does technically give you a little bit larger of a grip surface. The mag release, also easy to get to, and nicely placed right here where you would expect it. Now let's get to one of the defining features on this gun that just blew me out of the water. After testing both the G3 and the G3C, I expected the trigger on the GX4 to be okay. It's not just okay. It's actually a very, very good striker trigger. Way better than I was expecting. Now, it's not like world-class striker level. It's not the striker level of like a PPQ or a PDP, a Canic or a P10, but it is better than at least the 365, possibly the Hellcat, and basically all Glock stock triggers. My particular one is slightly heavy at pushing 7 pounds. I would like to see it lighter than that, but I have noticed it's lightening and loosening up through use. The trigger shoe shape is something else that blew me out of the water. Now, with the G3 and the G3C, Taurus has been experimenting with a wider, flatter trigger face, and that has paid off big time in the GX4 here. What they did different in the GX4 is, in both the G3 and the G3C, they've actually got a curved trigger face. Well, they went with a hybrid flat face design on the GX4, very similar to that on the Archon Type B, where it is a dual-edged flat face trigger, giving you a really nice perch on that trigger. Now, unfortunately, that does also give you the downside that we saw with the Archon, where it pushes your trigger finger down into the trigger guard a little bit, so if you're not careful, your trigger finger can slide down, and you're going to get a little bit of pinch as you shoot. It doesn't pinch like it hurts pinch, it pinches like it rubs pinch, or increases the amount of rub that you get down there.
That's what she said.
So while it doesn't hurt right away, it's going to wear on you over time, and you're going to notice shooting this gun a little bit more than maybe some of the other ones. But those shots in the meantime are going to be really good because you've got a better trigger. Now, triggers are super subjective here. Not only is the feel super subjective, but their actual benefit is super subjective as well. There comes a point in trigger progression where you're not really helping yourself in rapid fire anymore. For this particular trigger, I would say that in use between the Hellcat and this, you're not going to notice much of a difference. In the 365 and this, personally, I like this better. The trigger profile on this is about 1/8 of an inch take up, then a hard wall with a solid brake. After pulling and applying the proper pressure, we're going to go ahead and hit the brake, and then about 1/4 inch after the brake. Now, the reset is that same 1/4 inch, and that reset is semi-audible and semi-tactile. It's not super strong, but you can feel and hear it. And then right after you hit that reset, you are right back on that wall. So although the reset's not short, the take-up is short, leading you to relatively quick follow-up shots. The grip texturing on this, I don't like the grip texturing nearly as much as I did on the G3 and the G3C. Those grip texturings are quite a bit more aggressive than this, and I understand why they did it. This gun is not as hard use as those guns are, so they reduced that grip texturing a little bit to be able to make it easier for carry. But I think they went a little bit too far. I would have liked to see a little bit harsher grip texturing on it. I do like the location and the amount of grip texturing. Unlike the 365 that I feel has too little grip texturing, this has the right amount, I just don't think it's grippy enough. I would actually love to see the 365 grip texture on this, or even better, the Hellcat. So after shooting this thing, I will say that the recoil impulse is a little bit stronger than you get from the other two guns. I'm not sure why that is. It might be the recoil spring and the mechanism that they have, but this does recoil just a little bit more than both the 365 and the Hellcat. But I also think this feels more comfortable in the hand than the 365. The Hellcat fits in my hand really well. A little bit better than this, but the 365 doesn't fit in my hand as well as this, leading me to have a better grip and more controllability after the shot. Overall, right now, I've got about 200 rounds through this thing, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm super surprised at this price point. I'm also happy that they could, because both the 365 and the Hellcat need some healthy competition. And the GX4 might just be able to put it there. So thanks guys for watching our first take on the Taurus GX4. I really think we need to keep an eye out on this thing. So far, the reliability that I've had has been good, and if it holds up, this is going to be a true contender for those significantly more expensive guns. If you like what we do here on the channel, and you're looking for more, hit that subscribe button. If you're looking forward to more GX4 videos, go ahead and hit that notification bell. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you like what we do here on the channel and you want to help out a little bit, you can head over to workthetrigger.com. Over there, you're going to find coupon codes, affiliate links, and all of our merch. Remember, guys, I appreciate every one of you, and until next time, do your research, get informed, and get to work.